So today we're going to be finishing up Excel Project 3. Well, maybe finishing up. We've got extra time here. We are a little bit ahead according to the syllabus, but don't worry. That gives us extra time to just review things to make sure we got everything right so we can ace that final. So let's take a look at where we left off, and we'll finish off with some little bit of eye candy and adding some charting to it after doing some nice formatting. So here's where we are with our Project 3. We got our numbers in. We have our totals for cost of goods sold. Remember, all we did was enter the revenue, and the rest was letting Excel do the work. What we're going to do now is enter the total column over here. We put a total heading across there. Now in the book they do it a different way. I want to show you the another way to do this. If I want the totals of all these, I could do it one at a time. Total, sigma, click, sigma. Or you could impress someone by showing that I can select all three of those where I want to put the total and click the sigma once. And numbers appear. Let's just verify that they're the right sum. Yeah, that got the right sum. Double click. I see it's getting those numbers. Double click on that one. Look how easy that was. One click and I got the totals of all those rows to show up. Now the reason it did nicely is because it's right next to the other numbers. Let's try it here now too. I want the total of those rows. Click. After selecting them all, click once on the sigma. Let's just verify. Yes?
I'm sorry, mine, I think I forgot to say behind on it.
Okay, which ones do you need entered? First of all, do we have January?
Yeah, I just need like the site rental, like in the market.
Oh, let's see. Site rental, let's just verify our formulas here. The site rental is our revenue times the site rental down there with dollar signs around it. Remember what the dollar signs mean. When we're ready to copy our formula, we don't want that B23 to change. We want it to stick at B23. Do you need any more? The next one down?
The next one just be the same but B24, right?
Yep. The next one we B24, and then miscellaneous is B25. Once you have those, then you.
Was there a different one for bonus then?
Oh yes, let's review the bonus thing. The bonus was a very important formula. That if formula. Let's verify it. Let's review that because that's something that's easy to be confused by. And I'm going to start over with that just so you know how it came about. We type equal if, and equal, the if formula has three parts. A test, and then what goes here if the test comes out to be true, what goes here if the test comes out to be false. Well, the test is that my revenue up there in B4, if that's greater than my revenue for bonus, that's my condition. But because I'm getting ready to copy the formula, I hit F4, put stickies around the B21. Now when I type comma, down below that it shows that, oh, now we're waiting to type in what the value should be if that is true. Well, the value that should be the bonus that's down there in the table. And because it's in the table, I need to absolute reference it, F4. And then comma, what do I get if I do not exceed the sales revenue? Well, I get 0. I have to type 0 so it'll know not to put the word false in there. If I don't put the third parameter, it gives me false. I'd rather have the number 0 show up. Now that that is in there, I can hit enter, and I see that yes, indeed, I do get the bonus, and I can fill handle those over to there to show that yes, those are correct. Those months do get the bonus. That one does not get the bonus because the revenue was not high enough. And then now that there's numbers there, I can click on all those total cells, and this will fill them all with the summation. Now it's time to do our cute little charts. We got to do these one at a time because these little charts need one click at a time. I go to the Insert tab after selecting where I want to put a chart, and here are the sparkline charts. They're kind of cute. They go over them in the book. I probably wouldn't be using them myself because I think they're just not terribly useful, but they might impress someone that, hey, that's interesting. So I click sparklines and I click line. And what it wants to know here, it pops up a little dialog. It wants to know, where do I get the data for my chart? And it pops up this little dialog. All I have to do while that's showing is I can just come over here and drag through, and it automatically starts filling in for me the range that the spark line should cover. Notice I do not drag out to the total. I only drag through the revenue January through June. This means it's going to put the chart in I4. That's where I was clicking on. I click OK, and a lovely little chart appears. Let's do that again on this one, even though I know I could fill handle down. Let's do it again just for practice. Click on the cell where I want the chart. Insert. Choose the type of sparkline. This pops up, and I need to drag through or type in B5:G5. And it fills that in for me, and I click OK. And another chart appears. Let's do the fill handle method all the way down to there. And now it gives me sparkline charts on the cells that contain something that can be charted. This does think there's a sparkline chart there. Since there's no numbers here, the sparkline doesn't appear. If I want to be sure there's nothing there, I can, let's see, what can I do? Can I delete that chart? I don't know if it'll let me delete that chart or clear the formatting. So if I do the fill handle down through those, there's actually a chart hiding there, nothing to show. But since we don't see anything, we're okay with that. In the book then, while they're selecting the charts, they select what color style that should be. They change the style. So I'm going to select through those and control select through those and change the style of my charts. Up here in the sparkline table, I can choose any style whatsoever. Say I want a different color line. Lighter for 40%. I can hardly tell a difference because it's just a line chart. And they show in the book that not only can I change the style or the color of it, I can even change what kind of chart it is. I can make it a column chart instead. I can always change the type of chart when I have it selected. So there's control over it once I've inserted it. And so in the book, they changed them to column charts. Okay, now we're ready to do the rest of our table. We've added a little eye candy. Now we want it to look something like this. Well, I'm thinking with your skills right now, you can kind of guess what we're going to do. We're going to shade all of these cells. We're not going to do a merging. We're going to be shading those. We're going to be applying looks like a heading style to that. This, recognize that, total style. Notice we're not going all the way across. We're just doing a total style from January to total. There's total style, and there's a color style. And we apply a color style up to these as well. Okay, so that's, now that we've done it a couple times, shouldn't be too hard to do that now. Let's go ahead and select that one. We want it nice and large, so we're going to put it in a cell style of title. And just so I get the exact size. Oh, actually, they didn't start with a title. They started messing with the numbers formats. All right. Well, I'll put this in title style. I'll put this in title style, and reduce the font size down a bit. And I'll come back and see if that's the right size. In the textbook, they start formatting the numbers in a kind of a different way than we did before. We first of all pick B4 to H4, dragging through, and then control click B6 to H6, control click B9 to H9, and B16 to H16. And we put all of those in currency format with a leading dollar. Not accounting format. They want to make it a little more complicated for us. We want to put it in currency format. Oh, and we also do control click B14 to H14. Put all of these in currency format with a leading dollar. Well, the easiest way to go to is in the number format, currency, and we're putting it with parentheses when it's negative. It does have the leading dollar there already. We're good for that, and I click OK. And I realize I forgot to get the total here. Let's go ahead and calculate the total. We know the formatting is there because I've applied it to the cell. Let's now get the proper number in there. I'm going to go the easy way. Click the summation. It's summing the right numbers together. I hit enter, and then I fill handle to the right. No dollar signs needed. And there I have the totals coming out. I forgot that I didn't have the formula here yet. Notice the formatting shows in currency format because formatting applies whether or not there's a number in there yet. The cell remembers its formatting. Operating income is a simple formula. It's equal to the gross margin minus my total expenses. Hit enter and fill handle to the right. And it knows, oh, I'm in currency format because you told me the format even before I had the number in there. Yeah. The formula for operating income was simply the gross margin minus the total expense for that month. No dollar signs needed because we do want it to move to the next month as we copy it over. So our accountants are getting happy. Now we need to format those other numbers in standard comma format. So let's choose the rest of these numbers, put them in comma format, these numbers here, and I'm going to do it rather than the control click. I'm going to go ahead, since it's so easy, select those, comma format, select through these, comma format. Now they're nicely lined up. 2 decimals, the decimal points lining up vertically. Now we just need a little color. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see what it's looking like. We would like all of these to be shaded after applying a format here. We want to apply, let's see, did it say what size font? Or get the font right. We want that to be 28 point. What is it? It's 18. Let's make that 28. And we want to make it bold. The next one, we want to be 16. I was close. And we would like now A1 to I12 to I2. We would like all of these to have a background shade. Instead of merging and centering, I'm going to apply a background shade to all those cells. They'll look like one because the gray lines don't appear on a printout. How do I fill it with a shade? Over here. And we choose, lighter 80%. The blue lighter 80%. That one, very light blue. There we go. At the top, middle, fifth from the left. It looks dark right now. I click off it. I see that it is a lighter blue. Now these cells, all the way across, we would like them to be in, I think, a heading 3 style. Heading 3, yeah, heading 3 style of those column headers. And now total style, we would like to put this here in total style. We're not going all the way across the chart this time because total applied to the chart messes up our spark line. And apply cell style total. Same thing here. Select through out to there. Cell style of total. Oh, and they did want us to put a spark line there. Let's see if I simply did a fill handle of that spark line, would it appear? Yep, they would like a spark line there too. Oh, and they want a spark line there too. I'm going to copy, Control C copy, and I'm going to Control V paste a spark line there. It's more just decoration, not terribly useful, but just a little eye candy. Operating income all the way across, including the title. We would like to put that in total style. And I notice in the book they actually do. I thought they didn't have the word in total style. I thought when I first saw that, well, they would like. I'm gonna just put the numbers in total style because I thought I saw that the first time. In the book, I see now they're having the words underlined as well. Let's make all our row headings bold. All the way down. Might as well have the what if assumptions be bold as well. And it doesn't matter if I have some empty cells selected. Making those nice bold row headings. And they would also like to apply a little shading on this one. Remembering the same shading we used above, so I'm going to click on that. And if I want the same shading in other places without me remembering, I can use my Format Painter and paint across multiple rows. I think just those top two they wanted to shade. And operating income, they also want to shade that. So click on that, Format Painter, and shade that one too. Now this one isn't nearly as colorful as our other one when we did the alternating colors, but it's not that complex of a table. So it's looking pretty good so far. Let's check what's coming next. We would like to shade this entire what if assumptions table in that same shade. I had initially shaded it gray. Let's have it be the matching shade that I applied to the others. That lighter blue. And there it's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and do a Control Save. We've done a lot of work, applied some formatting, save that. And now it's time to create a chart of the entire workbook. We want to do what they call a clustered chart. Here's what we want to create. We want to create a chart that will have their various months, January, February, March, April, May, June, and then a column representing each expense category. Well, let's see how that's going to be done. I want to create a chart like that. I first of all need to select what's going to be charted. Well, A3 says go chart A3 out to G3 is the out to G3. So even though we don't have anything there, we do want to select A3 to G3. That's going to be my little cluster title. And I want to say select through A9, or control select through, I got to do control select through A9 all the way out to G9 or G13. A9 to G13. So this is going to be the titles. These are the numbers that are going to go in the pieces of my clustered column chart. See why I had to select A? Because the titles of each column has a place to go there in column A. If I don't have A9 or A3 out to G3 and A9 to G13, it won't come out right. Now we're ready to do the insert of a chart. Let's just click on recommended charts to see what it may recommend when I have titles and lots of numbers selected. It suggests these various kinds of charts. And it gives you a preview as I select each type. The one that they would like us to use is the clustered column. I double click on that and it creates a clustered column chart right on top of my numbers. Now I could move those, or I could move those to a new worksheet by right-clicking, right-clicking in the right place, right-click, move chart. I want to right-click, move chart, and tell it, move it to a new worksheet, and let's give the new worksheet a name. Let's call it Expense Chart Sheet. Once I click OK, it will immediately put this chart on a new worksheet where now I can adjust my titles and even the style of my chart. Let's click the title and edit it. We're going to change that to 6-month financial, no, 6-month projected expenses. 6-month projected expenses. 6-month projected expenses. I think that title is a little small. Let's see if I can increase the font size of that. I guess I have to have all the text selected. Let's increase the font size of that. Make it nice and readable. Now the style of this chart. I don't know why Microsoft likes tiny dots for legends. Let's see what other styles we have available to us. If I hover over it, I'll see how that might look. Oh, I thought it would give me a preview as I hovered. Maybe I have to click to get a preview. Okay, so I can change the style. That one tries to show the numbers. They're barely readable. Notice how it places the numbers on the bars. That's a little bit more readable if I want to get a magnifying glass and read my titles. The legend changes location. Here, the numbers are vertical. Multiple styles available. Let's just pick one here. In the book, which style do they choose in the book? They show us something else here in the book. They choose a style. Let's go back to the original style here. Oh. I'll do a Control Z, go back to the original style. Where's my original? There's my original style. They chose to add data labels in a different way. Rather than choosing a style up here where some of them have data labels, they show you that when you click on this and click on the plus, you can choose what shows up in your chart. Like you could say, I want to see the axis title. Well, there's nothing there, it just says a word. That may not be terribly useful, but I could be editing it. Let's see what they would like us to choose. The actual data labels. And see, that little arrow means, hey, I have another option for data labels. I can choose where they get displayed and how. Outside end. Data table. That would show me all the data. I could decide whether or not I want to view that. Whether or not I want to see the legend. Whether or not I want to actually see the title, or let's see, the axes, or was the data chart title, data labels. I was hoping I could get the bar name of the expense to be listed. Maybe not. If I want the axis title, I could choose how it's viewed. And in the book, all they have us turn on is the data labels outside end. Now it's still rather small. You can choose whether or not to see the legend. I was hoping I could see the actual title of the data. That just shows you that that little plus gives you lots of options in your table display. And of course, you have the option of just choosing a built-in style from up there. But anytime you choose a style, you can still come back and adjust what elements are being shown. Say you like that one, you could still come back and say, wait a minute, I didn't want to see the data labels. Turn them off. Chart title. Generally, you do want to see a chart title. And I just noticed when I did turn off the chart title, when I brought it back, it forgot what was there. Kind of silly. So I'm going to Control Z that back to where I had my title. So you can play with the style, with the design. Choose whichever one you like. Just to give you some experience with choosing a style there, as well as once you choose a style, you can choose what goes where. You can say, wait, I like this, but I don't like the data labels. Okay, turn off the data labels. Okay, so that's our chart. And once I'm done changing the style, I can close my option box, click off of that, and now I have my chart on a separate worksheet with a chart, a worksheet tab with the given title. I can always go back to sheet 2 and see my original data. Now they spend a little time showing you chart filters. I'm going to skip that part. Oh, but let's add axes titles to our chart. We don't have axes. Let's add an axis, and the axes are going to say, I thought we were going to have axes titles. Maybe not. Yeah, we do put titles. It's going to say, what did we put for axes? Oh, one is just going to show that we have dollars over here. So let's click our chart and let's choose our axes titles to be shown. And now to edit it, I just come over here, double click on it, and type a $sign. And I can change the style of that to be vertical. Format the axis title and make it a vertical text. Here I choose rotate text direction horizontal. And this title here is going to say, the bottom one, oh, do we only show the, looks like we're only showing the y-axis. So they mess around with the chart style. And I guess I'll just put here for the axis, I'll just type the word month. And I'm going to increase the font size. That's barely readable. Let's select that, all that text, and let's increase that font size. And Let's make that one larger font too. Let's select that one, increase that font size. And because I had messed with titles, it forgot the size of that font. I'm going to increase the size of that. Nice and readable. Now it is a little busy, lots of numbers, but we'll go with that for now. Remember, if you do use if you're going to print this out, remember anything that's dark will use up a lot of toner if you're planning to do hard copies. So if I were planning to print this, I would probably not make it a dark themed chart. But I'm just going to use it electronically, and it doesn't matter. But remember, if you ever do plan to print out things, be conservative on the darker colors, because your poor little printer will be running out of toner real quick. They adjust the data labels. Now, one of the last things they do is recolor the tabs. Remember how I can color a tab? Just right click, tab color. This one they choose a dark blue. This one with our data, let's see. This is the sheet. Let's call this expense chart sheet. We'll call it data. And let's make that how about a tab color of a dark green. There's our chart. There's our data. If I ever want to reorder them, look at the data first. When someone opens this, I simply drag it to the left. The one on the farthest left is what they'll see when they first open the file. So if you don't want them just seeing the chart right away when they open it, set this to be the leftmost tab. And there's our practice that we did before. Now, one thing we haven't done yet is the what if analysis. And let's start thinking about that now. We want to see, let's do a save here. We would like to see now and do an analysis of what changes and how we can do a goal seek. And I'll turn off my options box there. What we want to do is see what the changes would be if I change my assumptions. So for now here, let's just zoom in a little bit. I'm going to yellow highlight that number right there. That's the number we're seeking a goal on. That's our important number for the end of 6 months. What's our operating income? And the CEOs want to know, what's it going to take to have a better operating income after 6 months? Well, I can come over here and make changes just while I'm in the meeting. I can say, well, let's just reduce their bonus to 0. Let's not give them a bonus anymore. Let's just reduce that to 0. Well, that made a tiny change in my operating income. So let's not do that. We don't want unhappy workers not have that incentive. How about we reduce salaries from 20% to 15%? I type 15% there, and I see that, oh, that does increase our operating income. Pretty good. Let's Control Z that. How about our site rental? Well, let's see here. Site rental. Let's try to negotiate a better site rental. Let's change that to a 5%. Well, you can see that any 5% change over here is about a 5% change in our revenue. We would like to have Excel figure out for us what does it take to get an operating income of $4 million. I have a feeling this has a big effect on it. Let's adjust our margin from 81% to 80%. No, let's to 70%. Is that going to make our operating income go up or down? Let's find out. Oh, that affected our operating income. So a low margin affected our operating income, made it go down. Let's increase the margin to 90%. Oh, look at that. We're just above $4 million. So that looks like a number that has a big effect on our margin. Control Z, go back to the original 81.25. Now you can see here, as we do this what if analysis, if we come up with an answer, we need to say, okay, what change did we make to achieve a better operating income? So rather than forget what our original numbers were, how about we make a copy of this and then mess with that one? So we can always go back to see what our original numbers were. So how do we make a copy of this worksheet? It's easy. I just right click, duplicate sheets. All right, let's see. Right click. I thought I could right click here. There's my data. Oh, there's not a duplicate there. Oh, no. Select. Protect. I'm so used to Google Docs. In Google Docs, I can right-click duplicate sheet. Now I have to figure out, how do I duplicate a sheet? I guess I could do a select all. Select all. Or click up here and select everything. Copy, Control C, copy. And plus. And paste, Control V. Now I have a copy of the original one. And let's call this copy. Or what if. And now I can make some changes and see any changes in my assumptions that would achieve a goal of 4 million. Now let's see how they do this in the book. They would like us to see what they want us to change. In the what if analysis, we would like to see what it takes, what change it would take to seek the goal of, just a little bit better. We would like to change our site rental to achieve 3.5 million by the end of 6 months. Notice I am leaving the original chart alone, made a duplicate of it by copying and pasting everything, and now I'm going to do a what if analysis. I could come over here and adjust my site rental little by little, and let's just guess 8%. Oh, I'm getting close. 8% gets me to closer to 3.5 million, 3,500,000. Let's just reduce that a little bit more. How about to 7%? Now we're up above. Well, I could little by little tweak that by myself, by hand, little by little, getting closer to a number that gets me exactly 3,500,000. Let's let Excel do the work for us. Since Excel has this built in for us, underneath data, what if analysis, goal seek. Data, what if analysis, goal seek. And the goal seek is the value that we would like to set is going to be, if I click on it, that should be H16. See how H16 shows up there now when I click on it? H16 is the value that I want to goal seek on. The value that I'd seek to is 3,500,000. The cell I would like to change, I could go point to it after clicking here, or just type B23. I'm going to point at B23. Now Excel is going to make little adjustments to that site rental until it finds the exact site rental percentage that will get me to 3.5 million. I click OK. Excel thinks very quickly and finds right away that 7.73% is the number that'll get me to that operating income. Now just for fun here, let me increase the decimals on that 7.73 and show you that Excel actually calculated out very accurately to multiple decimal places the exact number that will get me exactly 3,500,000. But I only care about looking at the first two digits after the decimal. Let's do that again. See how Excel did the goal seek for me. That was originally 10%. And I just went to goal seek underneath data, what if analysis, goal seek. The cell I want to set is that cell right there. That's our operating income by the end of June. The value I'm seeking is 3,500,000. The cell I want to change is that cell there, B24. Oh, I have to click here and then click B24. And then let Excel do the work. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong one. I changed the marketing. If I want marketing, I spend less on marketing, I'll get there too. That's not the one I wanted to goal seek on. Let me Control Z that and click the right one. The goal seek, what if analysis goal seek. Set cell H16 to value 35. 3,500,000. The right number there. By changing cell, not by accident, not B24, B23. Okay. And put that back and click OK if I want to keep the results. And now put that back in 2 decimals. So what would I write out for what if analysis? We need to know the goal was income, our operating income of 3.5 million. I'll put that in comma format. The change was in site rental. Initially, it was 10%. We'll put this be the finish and the start. The site rental originally, well, let's see. The site rental now is equal to what's over there in B23. That's the new site rental. It started as 10%. And what did the operating income start as? Oh, I forgot. Let's go check our original chart. Click, Control C, copy, come back over here. And I need to paste special the value of what was in that cell. That was my original operating income. Put that in comma format. Here is the key to what if analysis. Keeping track of what the changes were, both in the goal. It started at, operating income started at 323, ended at 3,500,000. The starting site rental, we changed from 10% to 7.73%. What change did you make, and what was the result? So key to what if analysis, what changed? From the original to the new, and the result the original and then the new. Without those 4 values, the what if analysis isn't terribly useful. Make sure you keep track of what change did you make and what was the result from start to finish. We will review this on Monday. We're almost done. Just reviewing of that goal seek. Maybe we'll do a little practice of goal seek. That's the most powerful thing and one of the more complicated things we're going to do in Excel. So we'll review that. We're just about done. We just want to do a little more practice with the goal seek and we'll be done. And then we'll do exploring other worksheets. So save it. It's almost ready to submit, but we'll save there and we'll just do a little bit more work next time. And do a backup. Save your backup somewhere. Populi is a fine place.